Hey guys, what is up? Chris Schroeder here to help you guys start, grow, or scale your buyback business to over $100,000 a year in profit. So today, guys, I want to show you guys what the 99% of people do, and then the 1% of our phone flippers do, or the 99% of most phone flippers and the 1% of people like our phone flippers in our programs do. That make all the difference, and they're very boring, but if you focus on these things, you will win. There is no question about that. It's hard to deny it. With that being said, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Chris Schroeder. I've been phone flipping for going on 9 years now. I've written a book. I have done this business for over a long period of time. I've taught in my program 150 phone flippers how to do things and make money, and we have 12 six-figure flippers currently. So that accounts for about 10% of our people in our program. And then I've helped over 250 other business owners and people like that build their business, do marketing, things like that. So with that being said, let me jump into all of this so you guys can understand what you need to be focusing on the most once you get past the initial starting phase of being a phone flipper. Okay, so and to drive this home, I'll just be going over these one by one and just give you examples of just every single one of them. Okay, so here's what. So this would be the 99% for the most part. So we'll put the 99% of phone flippers, and the great thing is you guys can use this to your advantage because most people aren't willing to do work, and this stuff is the stuff that actually requires the least amount of work for the most part. So what most phone flippers focus on? So most phone flippers focus on reach outs. Okay, this is where most people actually find the business. They're like, hey, these people have these things on Marketplace. I can just reach out to them. I can make offers and things like that. And this is where most people start. And this is where most people focus. And that's great. And that's totally cool. So I actually didn't do reach outs for a long time. I thought it was a waste of time. And to me at the time, I guess it was because I was generating enough leads to get to $10,000 in profit without needing to reach out to anybody. Everybody was reaching out to me. Inbound, in my opinion, is my favorite type of lead source. However, there is money in reach outs, but it is by far the most beginner way to start this business. And that's why 99% of the people, kind of end up there, and that's totally fine. So a lot of people start with reach outs. You want to be doing at least about 20 a day to make it work. And when I say reach outs, I'm saying like 20 offers per day. Okay, you need to be doing 20 offers minimum. Okay, how do you do that? So I like to send a message that goes a little bit like this. Hey, I run a company that buys iPhones, MacBooks, smartwatches, cameras, and VR headsets and game consoles and things like that. If you could go lower on the price, I could pay cash today. Would you be willing to go any lower? Something along those lines, right? I have it literally preset in my computer. So that's where a lot of people start. If you make 20 offers a day, we usually see about a 3 to 5% closing ratio. I literally just got off of a check-in call with a student yesterday who's already bought. I believe he's at 122 reach outs since he's been in Recelerator, and he's bought he showed me his inventory yesterday. It was insane. He's got a long list of things that he bought, mostly game consoles and VR headsets, but that's money either way. Okay, so this is the best way to start, and this is where 99% of people start. Okay, the next one is ads. So I'm a big proponent of ads. What I'm talking about here is actually mostly free ads. So this is where 99% of the people live when it comes to flipping phones. So a lot of people want free ads. They want the free Craigslist ads. They want the free Marketplace ads. They want, the stuff that gets taken down and taken off and things like that pretty often. All right, so that's where most people live. This is what I used to do all the time, was posting ads to Facebook groups, posting ads on Marketplace, posting ads on, we used to post on Let Go before that was taken away. But now that's not really the case. It's more of a push towards free, or paid ads at this point. Now, some of the 99% actually do paid ads because they realize that that they needed to. Okay, but I would say only a very small percentage of those people actually do paid ads, and that's fine because it is a little bit more of a learning curve, and that's just how it works. Okay, so There's that, and then most of them sell locally, and then some sell to direct buyers. Okay, so this is where 99% of people just live. Whenever they come into, this is more or less the side hustle flipper type of side. This is where 99% of people are, and that's cool. That's totally fine. And these are all really good ways to start and get your feet wet, and they are the beginning areas of starting. Okay, so not knocking this at all, but this is just where 99% of people live. So let me show you guys where 1% of the phone flippers that are, making six figures and things like that. Let me show you where those guys are living. And I might actually add a couple to this list as I'm talking about it and things come to mind. So this is what 100K earners focus on. So this would be like the top 1% of phone flippers, right? So these phone flippers, the number one thing that most of them focus on at this point is tracking, okay? What do I mean by tracking? So there's a couple of key factors that you need to track, and we call these like key performance indicators or KPIs. And those are things like tracking how much inventory you have, tracking where your leads are coming from, tracking where you sold the item, tracking all of those just different metrics, tracking your closing rate, tracking your repeat customer rate, tracking things like that. Once you start tracking those things, you get a really good idea of how to scale your business really fast, okay? Because you're like, okay, I spent $400 this month on Facebook ads and I got $1,200 or $1,600 back. That's a pretty good thing. I should probably spend more on Facebook and get more leads there. Or you could do it like this, or I spent, $300 on Google and I got 2,000 back, which is pretty common actually. You spend 300, get 2,000 back. Okay, maybe I should spend more time on Google. Now, the only way that you know what to do is because you tracked it, okay? A lot of people just do not track anything. And that leaves a window where they just don't know what they're doing at that point. And that's where a lot of these guys over here in the 99% live, is like they're just kind of flying by the edge of their seat, hoping that things work, or they're just trying to make an extra buck, which is fine and cool, right? Like that was me too. But as I grew, I had a mentor tell me one time, what is trackable is scalable, right? So he was like, you need to track. And Hormozy says this a lot now. He's like, if you don't track, you don't care. And that was like, ow. I was like, okay, I care, so I need to track, right? So the next thing that they focus on heavily is follow-ups. So the 1%, the 100K earners realize that most of the money that they're going to make is in the follow-ups. And I tell my students this almost on a constant basis every single week, is the money is always in the follow-ups, okay? Especially with Facebook ads and things like that, is if you are not following up with those leads, they're forgetting about you. It is your job. You paid to get the lead. It is your job to follow up with them on a constant basis. It's just your job. That's it. Okay, there is no way around that. You can't get mad at the customer because it is your job. You paid for the lead. All right? So follow up with your customers. That will surge you past all the competition in your area. Trust me. Creating a good customer experience. So I was actually on a call with somebody the other day, and I was listening. They got a call during during one of our meetings, and we decided to listen in on the call to see how they do, so I could give them some criticism, not criticism, but just feedback. And the way that this person was speaking to their customer was like rude. Like, it's like, oh, it's iCloud lock. Yeah, I mean, I can't do nothing for that. Like, and it was just the demeanor of how it was, right? So the way you talk over the phone to a customer and then also dealing with customers in person is incredibly important. So whenever I answer the phone, the best way that I answer it is like, hey, this is Chris with Bell Electronics. How can I help you? That's how I answer the phone. And then the next thing I'm doing is like, I'm getting a little bit of information about their phone. And then I'm like, hey, how's your day going? And I segue it into that usually while I'm going to look for my offer price. And I'll just be like, hey, how's your day going so far? And then I'll be like, hey, I didn't catch your name, right? I'll just ask these like personalized questions and grab the information more. It's like, oh, okay, Kayla, well, let me see if I can get you a good price here real quick. And this makes a big difference. And then actually meeting the customer in person goes even further. If you can make a good customer experience and get them to like you, the likelihood that they sell to you again and refer their friends to you is incredibly high. Okay? You have to do this. You have to learn this. You have to get better at this skill set. This is a skill set. Okay? This is not something that you're just born with. This is something you actually have to cultivate and learn and do a good job with. Okay? So create a good customer experience. Get Google My Business. Get a Google My Business #1, which is basically like a Google Places. If you go and you search on, like, imagine you're going to search for a restaurant, right? You just type in, food near me, right? And then it'll show up with all these places that are recommended by Google, right? Well, that happens with our businesses as well. Whenever we sign up for a Google Places or a Google My Business, we will show up on that feed. And that is one of the most powerful things that you can do, is getting on that feed, okay? And then on top of that, you need to be getting reviews from customers. That way you just, like, because you're not going to start off at the top. But the beautiful part about Google My Business, guys, the beautiful part about this is these 99%ers over here aren't doing that. So it doesn't take you long to get to the #1 spot, especially if you're very specific. Like mine is Bell Electronics League City, right? So I'm very specific on the area that I'm serving. I didn't say Bell Electronics Houston. I did that for a reason. All right? It's because I wanted to rank #1 pretty fast. So you want to get reviews, and then you also want to get photos with customers too. So you want to get reviews and photos with happy customers, because that'll boost you in the algorithm pretty massively too. It'll make you look much different than everybody else in the business. And then the next thing here is 30-day follow-ups with customers. So we talked about follow-ups here. Follow-ups here is basically following up with people through Messenger, Instagram, Google, places like that. The 30-day follow-ups is people that have actually sold to you. So you want to be following up with people that have actually sold devices to you every 30 days for at least a year. The reason you want to do this is so that you stay top of mind to these people. And people sell their phones every 6 months. Now, also I need to add in diversity here, because let me add this in. So when you're following up every 30 days with customers, they are more than likely to come back to you more. That's just kind of how it works. It also keeps their phone number in their area and stuff like that. Another thing I want to add in here is diversity. And I don't think I spelled that right, but whatever. Diversity. So being able to buy more than just iPhones is a massive opportunity for you guys. Because a lot of these 99%ers over here are focusing on only buying iPhones. And that's cool. But guys, there is MacBooks, iPads, smartwatches, cameras, all of this stuff that is out there that you're ready to buy. There is nobody else out there buying them, and it's taking these sellers forever to sell them as well. So you can put yourself in that place and be diverse in your buying habits. And then the crazy thing is you can actually get more repeat customers more often. And that's another thing I need to add. A lot of my 1%ers here, they focus on repeats and referrals. So let me put this in here. So repeats and referrals. All right, so I'll talk about this, and this will be the last thing I do. So repeats and referrals. So we'll talk about repeats first. My 1%ers, my 100K earners know that a bulk of their business every single month is going to come from repeat customers. They know this. It's just, at this point, it's guaranteed. I have one student who, I think it was 60%, 62%, last time I checked, 62% of his entire business was from repeat customers. That's insane. And then only the rest was new. Okay, so it was only about 38% was new customers. Now imagine if that 38% was 100% of his customers. He wouldn't be making as much money because it was only $2,000 extra, right? But repeats is what is a huge thing that you need to be focusing on. So this is where creating a customer experience comes in, and then that helps with creating repeats. And then with those repeats, you want to be focusing on getting referrals as well. So what are referrals? So referrals are basically people when they tell people about you, right? So you want your repeat customers or customers in general telling people about you, okay? And you can do things like I got this from Navon. He's one of my students. He pays people $10 to send a group in somebody's family text chat, and that's how he gets people to refer to him all the time. And then that drastically lowers the cost that he needs to spend to get people to come to him, right? So with that being said, guys, this is what the 1% of the phone flippers and my 100K earners actually focus on. I broke all this down in a later video that you guys can actually check out. So yeah, do that. If you focus on, so this is really boring metrics too, right? Like these are the boring tasks that really move the business forward, right? These are the small hinges that swing the biggest doors, right? These are just the doors. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it brings a lot of value to you. And if you guys would, please like and subscribe, and check out the description. I got stuff there that you guys can check out. And with that being said, have a great day. Keep crushing it. See you guys next time.